Y'all, the quality of this live, as far as visually, is probably trash. Um, I don't know, y'all. I just need you guys to get in here so I could talk to y'all. Maybe I should at least turn the light on. Because, yeah, y'all, things are so crazy. This internet, these, I don't know. Y'all, these people are crazy on this internet. Thank you. Y'all, so, okay, I told you guys I had some tea. Now, I do have some tea, but I had to do a little investigative work. Good morning, everyone. So, you guys know that Gypsy's doing blown beauty art. And this lady said that she's basically been the one doing blown beauty art, and Gypsy stole the idea. But hold your horses, just hold on. I did a little bit of a deep dive. First of all, she messaged me. The messages were not consistent from the beginning of the time she messaged me to the end. It just, I don't know. Something just seemed off, okay? She starts off by saying she has all the evidence that Gypsy is stealing her content. Well, basically stealing her name. But then at the end she was like, "Well, here's this video. This I'm an artist." And I was like, "Well, can you email me what evidence you have?" She said she was going to. Um, and then she just sent me two YouTube links, but it wasn't her doing any type of blown beauty art. It was just her doing art. Then I noticed that her TikTok page had just been started like the day before, and she did like 100 videos. Now, I need you guys to follow me because there's a plot twist in this, and I don't think people are realizing it. The lady looks very similar to who? And when I say similar, I'm not saying like a twin. I want you guys to like just follow me. Who? No. Ivy Rose grows wild. Same type of like, I feel like it's the same shit, just different toilet. She's grifting. She came on the scene saying Gypsy's trying to do something to her. Look, I don't know this for a fact, okay? I'm just saying the pattern is patterning, okay? So what I think is that the Blanchards put this woman up to it so creators could say Gypsy stole their stuff so she could play victim. Mm-hmm. Now Jesus said my booty stank. Hmm. Bree, you need to wash your fupa, because we know it's you. And the fact that it says Jesus Christ is like diabolic as hell. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, okay, I'm gonna just let y'all say whatever you gotta say. Oh, good. I'm happy I look like hell. Anyways, so I think that when you really think about it, this is very on brand for her. Yes, the mannerisms, like even the lingo. You think about the lingo, it just seems very on brand. Some just seems not right. Something just doesn't seem right about it. Something seems very off putting, and very inconsistent. Yes, and I'm telling you, the messages that she sent me didn't, it didn't make me trust her. It didn't make me trust her at all. Um, so it's kind of weird when you think about it. Like, I don't think it's another Kate Marie. I think it's another Ivy Rose Grows Wild. That's what I think it is. At the end of the day, I think it's another Ivy Rose Grows Wild. The blonde beauty art lady, she was the one who did it. And it was just very, yes, Nab. And I thought that that was very interesting too. Um, I felt like it was very odd, but she was trying to draw parallels to her and Gypsy, like Gypsy being on Dr. Phil, her being on Dr. Phil, her doing artwork. And what I also think, and y'all might think I'm crazy, but I just need you guys to follow me real quick. I feel as though this lady, and I don't know if her story as far as her abuse is true or not. Okay, so I'm not going to discredit that or anything like that because I don't know. But I feel as though her trying to say Gypsy stole her storyline makes me wonder if Gypsy's next storyline is going to be an abusive relationship too. You know what I'm saying? Like, just knowing how they operate, I feel like that's how it's going to be. Something's not right. But that is a story. Whatever it is that she's doing is a attempt for a storyline. I wonder why people are so weird that they get on your live to talk to you about you if they have an issue with you. That just seems so strange to me. No, I know she was. Listen, but her story is inconsistent. If I was to show you screenshots of exactly what she sent me, she said she had all the proof. Then, when I asked her to email me the proof so that I could back up these allegations, she just sent me 2 of her videos that say nothing about what she's saying Gypsy did. Thank you, Tricolors, and thank you to my mods. They're the best. Hey, Betty. These people are such weirdos. And I feel so bad that y'all be in your mama's basement doing this type of stuff. Didn't your mama tell you to go get a job? She probably yelling, down the stairs right now for you to go get a job and to get off her Wi-Fi. Like, y'all, she does need to go away, but I just don't see it. I think she's just going to get worse and worse. Well, why can't gorillas wear blonde hair too? What's wrong with what's wrong with that? They definitely using their mama's Wi-Fi right now. Their mom is yelling down the stairs right now. Get off my Wi-Fi and go get a job. And of course it says Detroit Stiggy. Very on brand. But I don't think I think she's gonna keep trying to revamp. Like, she's gonna try everything and to see what sticks. It's first of all, there's no way you could tell me that it makes sense because she came out of the blue 2 days after Gypsy, or 3 days after Gypsy put that on her TikTok page. Make it make sense. No, I know she's been around for years, but not under blown beauty art. Like, none of it make. I can show you the messages that she sent me from the beginning of the message to the end of it. It was inconsistent. It was not. She gave me nothing to go off of. When I asked for receipts, she gave me none. I'm not saying the lady has not been doing artwork for years. I believe she has. But what I'm telling you is her story is not adding up, and she has no proof of what he's saying. And when I requested it, she can't follow through. You say you have all this proof. You need to send it if you want me to make allegations like that. I mean, she does seem a little bit unhinged. Um, and I think that I think she's kind of like, she gives me like very much hippie vibes. Does that make sense? In my opinion, that's what she gives me, is hippie vibes. Yes, Jane Doe, she sent me two videos. Both of them, I watched them and I didn't see blown beauty art. That's why I said, like, you want someone to make these allegations with no actual proof. You want me to get sued. Jane, you're so funny. Okay, Jerome. It really just makes me laugh that someone would take the energy to do all that typing. To do what? Not you don't claim her. Not you don't claim her. Jerome, I think you need to go find something to do. Your mom is yelling down the stairs. She's saying she needs you to go get a job and get off her Wi-Fi. You don't hear her? She yelling right now. She told you, she's saying right now that you told her last year you was going to get a job. It's a year and a half later, you still don't have a job. She's not happy about that, baby. I don't know, because I feel like I don't think she's just a random person. I'm telling you, it's not coincidental. I don't think it's just a random person. I think there's a plot behind it. There's a puppet master behind. There's not just Nobody just comes out the woodworks and claims Gypsy stole her stuff, and there's no follow through. Because think about it, that's the exact same thing Ivy Rose Grows Wild did. And then they're besties, allegedly. I know, Jane. I'm telling you, these people are kind of weird. It's just too. We've seen this story again. I hear what you're saying, but the story, the pattern is the same. When something adds up, it's just there's there's too many parallels to her and Ivy Rose Goes Wild for for me to believe that they don't have anything to do with it. And then now she has a GoFundMe. Isn't that exactly what she did? Sort of, but I have something else. Well, it's kind of tied to it, but I'm waiting on. There's some receipts that I need to tie in to it. Yeah, they have the Dr. Phil comment, so I think that that's neither. That's where I feel like it's somebody Christy may know. And then she also, there's just two. I need to, you know what? I will post the screenshots of our conversation in my community post. That's probably a good idea because, like, when y'all read that, you're gonna be like, "Oh, now I see why Nina's saying it." Because it's too. And you know what it was too that rubbed me the wrong way. And you guys tell me if you think I'm crazy. One of the first things she said in my messages was that she feels like my videos got her through some really hard times and she loves my videos. I don't know who you are. I've never even seen you in my likes. I've never seen you in my comments. I don't know who you are. Who are you? That was alarming to me immediately. Like, that was one of the first things she said. And I thought that it was extremely alarming. Exactly. But if you think about it, that's similar to what Ivy Rose Rose Wild did. I'm so happy that I was able to do that. You like it just I'm telling you there's too many things that's just weird. It's just very, very odd. And inconsistent as hell. I'm gonna post those messages. I'm telling you, when you see those messages, you're gonna be like, what the hell was this lady writing to you? I was very confused. The trolls be doing overtime for free. That's crazy. That is crazy. These trolls Oh, what's crazy is I almost blocked the wrong person. Y'all, I don't know what it is, but skincare has always been such a big thing to me. Now she needs a straight jacket. Child. First of all, let's be real though. Let's be 100% real. You cannot tell me that the video of her painting with her boobs did not crack you up. Tell me that didn't make you laugh. Tell me that that video of her with her boobs painting, full on paint on her boobs, the same lady, like she was just going like I don't know, y'all. It's the most unhinged thing ever. You really have to. I was like, every day I get on this internet, I don't know. Like, I just have to question life. I have to question people. I have to question everything. Nothing makes sense. Nothing. Jane, and that was another thing that was very parallel to me. Hey, Mersey. I didn't see that video. She was throwing herself against the car and claimed that she got hit. Ooh, child. Let me tell you, these people on this internet will make you end up in a straitjacket because you don't know what's going on, because you're trying to understand crazy people. And if you aren't crazy, you can't understand it. That's where we're at. That's where, like, I can't. Yeah, I saw that she was on Dr. Phil, but that was the part that kind of really. So when she was drawing that parallel, I was like, okay, so show me what you have. I just felt like she was just constantly reaching and nothing made sense about the reach. Yes, definitely. I was trying to hear her out because at first I was thinking to myself, maybe I'm overthinking it. But when she said she had all the proof, and then I'm like, okay, send me the proof to back up these claims. You're like, oh, here's these 2 YouTube videos where I'm doing art. Yeah, but you don't have a blow dryer and paint in your hand. Gypsy has that's what she's calling her blown beauty art. And what I'm not going to do is start saying that this. Well, I'm sure Gypsy stole the idea from somebody, but baby, it's not you. Alf, this has been like the Game of Thrones. I have to always thoroughly look through what they be, what these people be saying to me. And every time I look, I feel like someone tries to get me caught up in something where I'm like, I have to really pay attention. Hey, Carmen. That's why you don't really see. I cross reference everything. They show the blown art on Pinterest. Well, let's be honest with you. Gypsy's blown beauty art is not. It's not like polished. It's not clean. Like that's not something somebody would pay for. That's interesting because James Charles is white. You know, Christy. First of all, if Gypsy lose a strand of hair, I'm the fault. Like it don't matter what happened, it's me. I did it. Okay, so who here has been watched the Amy Bradley Netflix docuseries? I really want to hear what y'all think of this because I Yeah, I think you're right, Joshua. I know that this is going to be very controversial, and y'all might think I'm a POS for this, but I don't believe the brother. There's something that they're not saying. Something is not right. Thank you, Michelle. Something is off. I think she's still alive, and I don't think she wants to be found. Period. I do think that. I think that something took place that they do not want to speak on because there's too many inconsistencies. So there's three different shows that had I guess a whole episode on them. Now, including the Netflix. All three of them are very different. What I thought was very alarming is that I was watching a live, and in the live, Brad Bradley's friend said that Kim Kardashian had just posted about it and that she was hoping that Kim Kardashian would come with a big donation. Why is that what you're worried about right now? Love. That's what I was thinking is why would they leave the island? Well, there's a few things that I think is alarming. Okay, yes, they did leave the island, but would you have really even got off the cruise ship to begin with? Or would you maybe say, Mom, you stay on the cruise, or Dad, you stay on the cruise, or Mom and Dad, y'all get off the cruise and I stay on here? Like, I feel like we would separate. Um, like, but for you to totally get off the cruise, stay in Curacao, and then for him to say that there was what do you call that what's that religion? Um what's that religion that the celebrities do use? The crazy one. No, not Islam. Scientology. To say that two black Scientologists came to the hotel. First of all, let's be honest, there's not a lot of black people in Scientology to begin with. And the ones that are like, what's her name? The girl that was on Tiffany Haddish. But why? Like, if you hear her story, how she got into it, she was like in a situation, she was in need. Like, it just didn't make any sense. Like, like, them, I don't see it, it doesn't make sense. And you're saying they come to your hotel. Thank you for the gifts, Michelle. And I think someone else sent one. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pay attention. It just, yes, you very seldomly, and you know what's funny? Ivory and I had this conversation because I was like, I wonder why. I was like, you don't, I don't feel like it even sounds desirable to me, but why is it that I was like, I can't figure out what it is, but why do you think that is? She was like, you know why? Because black people have been in slavery. Y'all don't want anything that's cultish. And I was like, I didn't think about that. And she was right. So I just, and the way Scientology goes, I think it is so, To me, it's not desirable. I don't see the benefit of it, right? So I thought that that was odd. Also, you're saying these two people in Scientology, Black Caribbean people, that's even more of an extreme because you're saying they're in Curacao. To me, that's even more extreme. Yes, Joshua, which is the whole thing is just very odd to me. I can't make sense out of it. But it just didn't make any sense for them to say, okay, like these two people came to recruit to the hotel. But then he was like trying to say that it wasn't like that's not what happened. Like, how do you go from Scientology to then saying trafficking to saying that it's just not? And then now he's been on TMZ twice recently. I'm talking about in the last, like, he was on TMZ yesterday. Um, it just, he has a GoFundMe. They're collecting donations. He's making, I know I probably sound like a crash out right now, but I think Amy just wants to be left the hell alone. And I think that whatever happened before she left, that love letter that she wrote to the girlfriend was too well put together and thought out for me to believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just something doesn't make sense. I know, right? I'm like, my son is in daycare. That's $1,500 a month. My daughter's in cheer. That is like $350 a month. Let's not even talk about dance and tutoring. And I'm like, y'all are just out here just setting up GoFundMe's. That's crazy. Yes. That's the first alarm. Now I've seen a lot of people say, oh, well, I'd be concerned about my daughter in 30 minutes. Not at a 23-year-old. You're saying she was in a room and you wake up, she's not there. Why would you not think that maybe she went for coffee? Why would you not think that? Maybe she went for coffee. Maybe she went for breakfast. Maybe she went um, for any other reason. Why would you automatically assume shut the ship down, don't let anybody off the ship, somebody kidnapped her? Why would that be like, it just, something about that just doesn't seem right. No, Elvis, Scientology is not 1,000 years. I think it's like 1 billion years. Girl, let me tell you, cheer, cheer breaks your pockets. First of all, kids, period, break your pockets. I don't know how people have more than one or two because, baby, my daughter cost me so much money, it don't make any sense. And still got the nerve to ask me, can we get this? Can we get that? Can we get this? Can we get that? Like, girl, I do think the family wants fame and money, especially the brother particularly, because something's not right. Something is not right. Something is not right at all. Something. I cannot put my finger on it, but something is very off about him. Oh, you know what? I called Ivory about this morning, but she didn't answer the phone, so I'm going to just tell y'all. So he was on TMZ. Okay. TMZ posted it on their TikTok page. Do you want to know what the comments? The comments said, I thought this was Ellen DeGeneres. Y'all, I was like, what I'm not going to do is play with y'all no more. Not on this internet. No, ma'am. No, ham. I'm not finna do that. They were talking about Brad Bradley. Yes, I definitely think Amy wants to be left the hell alone. I think she intentionally left. She left on her own terms, and she wants nothing to do with them. Period. I think that's what it is. Like, they were never okay with her sexuality, what she liked, what she wanted anything to do. Like, if you have so much of a problem with what I do and you're not willing to accept me for who I am, why am I even here? So even for them to even constantly say, oh, we were super close, we were super close. You weren't that damn close if you weren't accepting her for who she was. If you were close, the best gift you could ever give someone is acceptance. Why would you not accept your loved one, but you're saying you miss them? It just doesn't make sense. Yes. Hey, Pepper. It's definitely something that they're not saying. And I will go as far to say this, and I know that this might be extreme. Y'all might think I'm crazy. I do think that this will eventually come out. Good. The feeling is mutual for you, Brandon. But I think there was some sort of grooming or there was something going on. The pictures with the family, the brother and the dad, it's not right. Thank you, Elf. Something isn't right. I cannot tell you guys what exactly it is, but my spidey senses just tell me something was going on. And you guys might think I'm a bitch for this, but the fact that Brad Bradley constantly says that the reason why he didn't have any kids is because of what happened with Amy. I actually think, and this is just my thought process, okay? So this is not fact. I don't have anything to back this up other than the pictures that I feel like have been questionable. I think he has not had any kids because he is a predator. That's what I think. And he almost said it. That's what I think. That's exactly what I think. No, why? No parent in their right mind would be okay with their son that's almost an adult being topless on top of his sister. Like, the fact that anyone could say that that's normal is concerning to me, because I feel like, especially your daughters, you should always be teaching them personal space and for people to respect their personal space and their personal boundaries. And for anyone to say, oh, that's just sisterly love, that's not normal. That's you should want, I don't know. And I don't feel like I'm the only person that was raised where you don't just sit on grown men's lap. I don't care if that's your uncle. I don't care. You don't, there's things that are appropriate for little girls and things that aren't. And you want your kids to know that they need to stay tactful and respect themselves. And I don't understand how anyone could say that they feel like those pictures are normal. Those aren't normal pictures. And the fact that everybody on the cruise ship thought that they were a couple, does that not indicate to you something was wrong? That that should be a red flag. The fact that nobody would think me or my three brothers were in a relationship. Never. They would never think that. We have never given any indication of that. The fact that so many people thought that should tell you that there is a red flag. And I can't grasp how anyone could say that they don't understand. That, to me, that's a ginormous red flag. It literally tells you something was not right. And there's something, I don't know how many of you guys seen his live, but he kept going the whole live. I was like, he lying. Everything he's saying is a lie. Everything. It's a lie. It's just a lie. Why is he doing all that? Why? It's like, I feel like he does it to like give himself time to come up with a story in between that. It's very weird. There's something about him that just doesn't make sense. No, Gypsy can't listen. I would love for her to take me to court, okay? That too. And did you also say he did say he loved the way Amy would say his name? And then he also said that she had a bodysuit on that snapped in the crotch. How the hell would your brother know that? My brother don't know what I have on. So, so love, this is the funny part. I do think Yellow knows something, okay? Because, and this is why I think she left intentionally. Follow me, because if you follow me, I think it'll make sense. All right, remember he took a lie detector test, right? The lie detector tests came out inconclusive. Think about that, inconclusive. So it didn't come out that he was lying, but it also didn't come out that he was telling the truth. Why was it inconclusive? I think because he did assist her in getting off that ship and getting away. I do. So I do think he knows something, but I don't think he kidnapped her or had her trafficked. I think it was inconclusive because he assisted her. So him saying he doesn't know anything is not the truth, but them asking, did you traffic her, that's not the truth either. Does that make sense? I think it was inconclusive because he did assist her. He does know something, but I don't think he was harming her. And I think that's why it was inconclusive. Yes, I think he helped her. He saw her leave. He may even know where she is now. I don't think she wants to be found. I think because even the stuff that the brother says now, like if you look on his Twitter even up until like a couple of months ago or fairly recent, he was saying very homophobic stuff, very you know, things that were, why would you say that if you, even if you feel that way, let's say you do feel like that, but you, and say you don't agree with what your sister does, why would you still put that on social media though? If you're saying you want your sister to come back home, why would you put that on social media? I don't think they want her to come back home. I think it's, he's just trying to make money off of her. And why on God's green earth did he name his band um Amy's brother's band? And the dad is a band member. They're weird. Like weird. Why would you name your band Amy's brother's band? Dude, poor Amy, because I know she watching TikTok like, dude, can you get off this internet and stop using my name to get some money? Hey, Violet. Thank you. I do think Amy told him she wanted out of the situation because I don't know if y'all saw the interview that he did, but there was an interview that a creator did of Yellow. And one of the things that he says that Amy said was that, is that she is gay and the family didn't approve of it. And the fact that, they had a lot of issues with it. And, she wasn't really comfortable with the family or something to that effect. Right. So it tells you, if she was saying this to a stranger on the cruise ship, she felt trapped, right or wrong. Because who would say that to a stranger? I do think, I don't know if I think Yellow physically harmed her. I don't think that. I mean, it's possible. I'm not ruling that out. But I think that um I honestly think it could be okay, I feel for sure that the brother was doing something to her. I think it's a possibility that the dad was too. That's more of the likely combination to me. But I can't say for sure the dad, or like I am about 65% with the dad, but with Brad, I'm about 99% something had to have taken place. There was too many red flags, too many things that seemed off, too many things that I don't know. It They weren't Scientologists, no. It's just too many things. I don't think she jumped off, and I know that a lot of people have said that, but I wanna say this. They docked around 5:30, 6 o'clock. I believe that's what they said, right? She went missing between 5:30 and 6, or I think he docked at 6:30. Um, Now think about this. If they docked around those times, they were close to shore when she went missing. There's no way she would have jumped off that ship and they wouldn't have found her body or her clothing. No way. No way. No way. There's no way. They would have found her clothing articles, like they would have found something. That, especially Curacao specifically. Um, I just don't see. I don't see it, because I'll say this: I was on a cruise January of 2020, right before COVID hit real bad. Um, and it took us so long to get off that cruise ship from the time we arrived, because two people had jumped off did they jump off the ship, or they were fighting and threw something happened. They ended up overboard, and they were recovering the bodies. It took them about 5 or 6 hours to get the bodies, but they got it. We all had to stay on that cruise ship until they got those bodies. That's why I said it's not uncommon for people to jump off, but when you're that close to shore, there's no way they wouldn't have found any part of her body, clothing, nothing. They were practically at shore. So it's not about whether it's common for her to jump, it's where they were when she would have jumped. They would have found her body. So for them not to find their body, her any clothing articles, like nothing, to me, she wouldn't have just vanished. Then also think about this. I think this is really worth noting. Remember, they found a jaw, right? The other girl that went missing, her family had the jaw tested. The Bradleys did not have it tested. And then Brad Bradley was on live the other day saying the reason why he didn't have it tested is because it was a man's jaw. No, they clearly said multiple times it was alleged to be a white female's jaws. Why did you not have it tested unless you knew she wasn't dead for sure? How do you know? How did you know that wasn't her? Exactly. Something would have been found. There's no way. I don't the her jumping, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And the fact that they didn't have that jaw tested tells me they know. That, and I will be honest with you, I think there's even more to this than even just a brother having like some type of odd thing going on with her than what we know, because there's too many odd things that happen. There's too many dynamics that seem really weird. And the fact that they constantly keep talking about how close they were. You were so close, but your sister did not feel accepted does not make sense to me. You're not going to be able to convince me of that. Exactly, Aunt Edna. It would have definitely followed the current and it would have washed up somewhere. There's no way that she would not, nothing would have shown up. I do think she's alive. I think she left that ship on her own terms and is out somewhere living on her own and wants nothing to do with them. I don't think she wants anything to do with them. I don't think anything happened to her. I think she just got, I'm going to tell you why. Y'all might think I'm crazy, but let me tell you why. Amy's birthday is May 12th. Mine is May 18th. One thing about a Taurus woman, we will walk away from everything and just totally disappear if it's something that we decide we don't want to deal with. If we decide it is no longer conducive to us, we're done. And we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to give you any more warning. We're done. And when we're done, we're done. That's it. And I feel like the letter that she wrote was very intentional and very clear. And I would venture to say that I do think that the girlfriend knows where she's at. I don't think the girlfriend doesn't know anything. I don't think she would have sent them a postcard. They hated who she was as a person. Why would she send them anything? Let me tell you something about a Taurus. When we decide that you have an issue with who we are as a person, you can go to hell in a handbasket and we don't feel like we owe you nothing. We don't care if you think we're dead. We don't care if you think we're a deadbeat. We don't care if you think that we're a demon. We don't care about none of it. It doesn't, because that's your opinion of me, which doesn't make it my opinion of me. So I don't see. I'll give you an example. I had an ex-boyfriend back when I was 19, 20. We were together until I was maybe 22. I found out he was cheating on me. I knew 2 days before. I didn't say anything to him these same 2 days. He went to work. I packed up all my designer bags, all my shoes, my perfume, and my makeup. I left all my clothes and left and never came back and changed my phone number. 8 years later, I ran into him in a mall and walked off like I didn't know that man. I'm telling you the level of I'm telling you, she's somewhere. She don't want to be found. Like, we don't give when we walk away from something, we don't care. And when I say don't care, like we we don't want anything bad to happen to you, but if it happens, we're like, well, it's in God's hands. I'm telling you, I don't think I think she doesn't want anything to do with them. And considering, like I said, the things that her brother has posted, I think it's very consistent with why she wouldn't want to be around them. Yes. Hey, Marissa. Yeah, it's like once we're out, that's it. That's that. There's no like turning back on that. We don't change our mind on it. Once we decide, that's it. It's it. It's because also you have to think it's been 20 something years and you would still get on the internet and type with your fingers something like that and think it's okay and say, I want my sister to come back. It's it doesn't it doesn't align. Your words and what you're doing does not align. Like it doesn't. Like really think about it. It does not align. Like if you're saying one thing, it needs to be consistent with what you're doing. It's not. You're saying you want me to come back in your life, but then you're posting things about the community that I'm a part of. No, that's nah. It needs to line up. Your words need to line up with your actions. I don't know if it's her or not. And I don't know. Okay, so there's a couple of questions that I have about the sex worker picture. If in fact that's really Amy, the pictures were found on a website. Why would the FBI not schedule an appointment with the ex-worker? Nobody would have scheduled an appointment and show up, but yet thousands of people on TikTok are ready to book a cruise right now to go find her. Make that make sense. Like, really, really the whole time. Did y'all see the boyfriend? Because that was not a straight man. Nobody would be able to convince me that that was a straight man. I can guarantee you he wanted Barbies all his life. That is, that's, no, no, nobody's going to be able to convince me of that. Marissa, like, that picture was so telling. You know, when they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, that one was probably, without saying a word, you show somebody that picture, it's lagging. Let me try something. Is that better? Is that better? What is this? It's saying red. I don't know. Okay. Okay, I turned the internet on and turned it back off. I mean, turned it off, turned it back on. Yeah, no, I don't, that guy was not a straight guy, so nobody's going to be able to tell me that that was a straight guy. I'm telling you, there's too many inconsistencies. I also feel like that about the Benet Ramsey case. So I never really did a deep dive on that until maybe 2 weeks ago. And my theory is, I think Burke and her went back and forth because she took his pineapples. He probably hit her over the head, something happened, and she was unconscious, and the parents thought that she was no longer alive. And they finished the work. I think that's what happened. Because the way they said her body just popped up, and if you know your child is missing, are you going to call your friends to come over to your house? No, the last thing I'm going to be thinking about is calling anybody other than 911 if my child is missing, for starters. Second off, I saw that nab, which was another red flag, but I don't feel like this was intentional. I think it was just it's kind of like one of those dark family secret type of things, right? Because, first of all, the ransom letter. Who will come in your house, take your child, and spend 20 minutes writing a letter to you? And say, don't think about doing this, and don't think about this because I'll do this. Nope, no. For a ransom letter, I have your kid. This is where we'll be at this time. If you bring the cops, it'll be a problem. This is how much money you need to bring. That's it. End of story. You're not writing an essay. Like you're for the scholarship of kidnapping awards. Like you're not doing, like that doesn't make sense. And the fact that the handwriting was in the mom's handwriting. It's just, I don't understand why they didn't do more investigation on that. But I also think they totally mishandled the crime scene. And I think due to them mishandling the crime scene, because they didn't see it as a crime scene, they lost a lot of evidence. Yes, money is definitely power, and I think that had a lot to do with it. But I also think, here's the catch-22. I do think that if they would have brought charges against them, if they had a good attorney, I think that they could have still beat the charges, because you just have to create reasonable doubt. You could think 80% that they did it, but if you think 20% it's a possibility that they didn't, they're getting off. So I think there would have been enough to create doubt. Not to say that they didn't do it, but to create enough doubt for you to say, I don't know if I'm willing to send them away for life, because I don't know for sure that they did it. Like there's a possibility that they didn't, although I think there's more of a possibility that they did do it. There's enough of a possibility that they didn't do it. So I think they would have gotten off if they had a good attorney. Yeah, that too. But I also think what was very interesting is when they asked Burke about the pineapples, that boy says straight up, I can't talk about that. If that don't tell you guilt right there, I don't know what is. I don't think he was intentionally trying to harm his sister. I think if the dad passes away, Burke may. And the reason why I say that he may is because that episode of him on Dr. Phil, like laughing, like he was kind of like Jim Carrey, he was giving major Jim Carrey vibes. That's trauma. And imagine being that young, something like that happening, and you could never talk about it ever again. Yeah, you're going to be as crazy as a Fruit Loop. Like it was inevitable. You can't talk about something major that impacted and shaped you as a person and traumatized you as bad as that did. I think that he will say something, if his dad is no longer on this earth. He maybe won't say everything, but I think he'll say something, because I think it's something that he's had to hold back for so long that it's a it has affected him as a person. Hey, pal. But if something like that happened to your sister and you knew you had the answers, you wouldn't act like a psych patient too? I for sure would. I would be off. Like, off. I wouldn't be right in the head at all. I would be probably having an invisible friend at my big age. I'm telling you, I would not be right in the head at all. Like, because think about it. He was what, 8 years old? Like, 8 years old, something like that happens. And you're told you can never talk about this again. In fact, you loved pineapples so much, and now you can't even talk about pineapples. Don't even mention the word pineapples. And if somebody asks you about the words pineapples, don't talk about it. That boy was so crazy, he accidentally said, I'm not supposed to talk about that. When your parents tell you, if they ask you about this, don't talk about it, you're not supposed to tell the people you're not supposed to talk about it. That should tell you everything you need to know. I think the flashlight that he used to sleep with is what he hit his sister in the head with, is what I think. Because also, why were they denying having a flashlight? And then the babysitter or whatever was like, nah, remember Burke slept with a flashlight every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, why were they denying that flashlight? There's some importance or significance to that flashlight. I think they thought he did it, but I don't think he did it. I actually think the parents finished it off thinking she was already gone. Oh, I'm sure she was scared of John. In fact, I think a lot of people were, because did y'all see that I don't know this for a fact, and if anyone has receipts of this, please email it to me. Allegedly, Ghislaine Maxwell was at John's Ramsey's parties. Did y'all hear about that? And that brought so many other things to question with me to me. The crime scene was absolutely a mess, and I think that is why they couldn't get. First of all, the crime scene being in the house, there obviously was like you on it. You know what I'm saying? Like your DNA would have to be all over the place. Yes, apparently Ghislaine Maxwell was used to attend John Ramsey's parties. That, of course, that's not straight up evidence of anything, but that does bring a lot of stuff into question. Yes, 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 yes. Edna, that's very true. Like them just being rich and all running together, like yeah. But it just kind of makes you question. Exactly, Jerry. Like them telling to search the house and then like from the top to bottom and then going to the basement. And just the fact that the suitcase was there, it just seemed, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think that he had all the friends come over to the house to basically be alibis, like to say like, no, I seen him go downstairs and find her. Like, because if your child is missing and you got a ransom letter or note, found one in the house, you think you gonna call all your friends? No, no. If something's going on with my kids, the last thing I'm gonna think about is calling anybody. Exactly, Jerry. Why were people even in the house at that point? Like it just, none of it made sense. Hey Peachy. Exactly. You would call 911. And then the 911 call, like the 911 call was very questionable because the mom was out of breath. She didn't seem like she was freaked out, that she seemed uh, disheveled, but not like in tears. Like it was a weird 911 call. Yes, we are talking about John Benet. Like that call was just weird. I had to listen to it to a couple of times. Hey Jennifer. Exactly, Jerry. They were up all night. I don't think they went to bed because she did have that same clothing on. And the only reason why I feel like Burke would say something if something happened to the dad is because the fact that he's had to live with thinking he was the one who did it, I feel like he would want to get it off his chest to only really find out he wasn't the one who actually did it. Yeah, he might have hurt her, but he didn't have like he didn't unalive her. And I also think what's very interesting is the way he didn't include her in that picture when he sat down with the therapist and they asked him to draw a picture of his family. Although John Bonet at that point was not here, why did he not have her in the picture? Why? Because he was told, do not speak about those pineapples and do not speak about John Bonet. Thank you, mods. Y'all are the bomb. I honestly think that, in my opinion, I think that's the only reason why she was not in that picture. He didn't add her to the picture specifically because of that. So, Burke loved pineapples. Pineapples were his favorite thing to eat. In the autopsy, it was found that Jean Bonnet had pineapple chunks in her stomach. There was a bowl of pineapples at the table. I think justice will be served when John Ramsey is no longer here on this earth. Like, they'll finally get to the bottom of it. And honestly, they could get to the bottom of it now. I just feel like the money that he has and the influence that he has is the only reason why justice hasn't been served. I think it's just the fact that because even think about his wife, not his current one, the mother of John Bonet. Like, her passing was very odd too. Like, I think he knew that being that she was like sick, she could have started to tell the business, and he was worried about that. I don't think he actually did it. I think he harmed her by mistake, yes. But I think that the parents covered up for it. And I think when she was unconscious, they believed she was dead. Because when someone's unconscious, if you don't know that they're unconscious, I could see someone perceiving it as them being dead. Does that make sense? Hey, Clarence. You know what? I don't know, because my daughter still wets the bed, and she's not. Well, not all the time, but I have to tell her, but she sleeps so hard. Like, she doesn't get up in the middle of the night at all. Like, she sleeps like a rock, to the point that her therapist was saying that we need to get one of those things that kind of alert her when she needs to use a bed. Like, that girl sleep like a rock. She's not abused. Yeah, she just sleeps. When I say she sleeps hard, I mean I sleep hard, and I always have. The only thing I hear in my sleep are my kids. Like, I don't hear anything else when I'm sleeping. But look, I wouldn't be surprised if she had been being abused in some way. I don't know that. I don't. But I don't know. I don't know. Yes. Now, Rebecca, I did hear that there was another voice. Um, there was. There's too many things about it, though. That's why I keep saying that, because it's so. The crime scene was handled very poorly, and when a crime scene is handled that poorly, um, it's too easy for things to be overlooked because they were contaminated. John Benet Ramsey. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so many people being in the house is a red flag. Like, why? I'm telling you, all those people being in that house, they were there to be alleged witnesses. That's it. Because it's like, oh, if such and such was here, and if everybody's story is the same, then they have more proof that the story is what they're saying versus not what they're saying because all these people are here. You know what, Rebecca? That could be it too. They brought all those people so that they could contaminate the crime scene. That actually makes sense. Yeah, there's just too much. But okay, here's the question that I have for you guys. Do you believe that John Ramsey touched the body, as far as after she was not here? Do you think he was the one who handled the body? Or do you think he paid someone to do it? That is the $1 million question to me. See, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he did it or he called someone to handle it. That's the one question that I have. I'm not. Ooh, the mother could have. But I don't know if Patsy could have do you think she could have really handled that? 1000% the family is involved. And then two, the fact that they put a blanket over her, that's a very to me that definitely indicates that it's somebody that knew her. Someone that even though she was suffering, they wanted her to be in some sort of peace. Does that make sense? Well, he was only 8 years old. I don't think he would have handled the body itself. I don't think it's impossible for them to have called someone and said like, "Hey, I need you to make it seem like this. This is where she's at." Peachy, that's 1000%. I think John did have something to do with the way Patsy's was handled in while she was sick. I think the brother and her got into an argument over that pineapple, and I think he may have clocked her over the head with that flashlight or something, and she was unconscious. And I think the parents thought that she was no longer with us and they finished the job. The father's alive, not the mother. I don't think that Burke did it intentionally. I don't think that he is a villain. I think he might be batshit crazy now because he's had to live his whole life with this secret. Um, and I think that that would be a issue to anybody. See, the essay is the part that don't know much about. And remember, they people have pictures of, they say it's Ghislaine Maxwell at John Ramsey's house. Just that association makes you wonder too. Like when you just think of that, it makes you wonder, so what is there that we don't know? What is the relationship there? What happened? Like, there's a lot of questions when it comes to that. I feel like there's so much when it comes to John Bonet. I do think it's a case that could be solved, but they would have to really want to solve it because the information's there. Golden brown, I have to look that up. Now, what do y'all think is going to happen with Madeline Soto's mama? I don't understand why she's not incarcerated. I think one or out of two things will happen. Either I think it's a possibility. Um, Money. Clarice, the only reason why John Benet Ramsey's case is not solved is it's money. Um, the only reason why I don't think why I think they may not go after Madeline Soto's mama is only because it's not about justice when it comes to cases like this. When it comes to the legal system, it's about getting a conviction. They have one, right? The reason why I think they may is because they were willing to accept no contest from Stern. For them to be willing to accept that, why would they be willing to accept that? The only reason I could think is if they were going to have the mom charged with it or try to charge the mom with it. That's the only reason I could think that. That's literally the only reason why I could think that. Now, I also think something else is interesting, and I know I'm jumping all over the place, but y'all follow me real quick. Baby, the prosecutors in Diddy's case, right after he was denied bond, filed some more stuff, but they had names blacked out, baby, and things to identify certain people. Why? I think new charges are loading for Diddy like bad Wi-Fi in his jail cell, baby. Oh, I do think they have enough for child endangerment and child abuse. That I do definitely think they have enough for Madeline Soto. But I don't know why they haven't picked her up yet. But I think Diddy, I'm telling you guys, keep your eyes and your ears open. They are salty because of how things turned out. And because, you know, one thing that I don't understand and I've never understood about this case is why the hell did they go after so many things, but did not go after Diddy for extortion? That should have been the first thing. I think they should have led his case with extortion. They could have had everything else fall after that, but they should have led with extortion. They had clean proof. They had the information from Cassie's mama. They had the information from the Intercontinental guy. It was just clean. Like that, I feel like that would have been an easy conviction. Can you clarify that, Christy? I really don't get why they didn't go after him for extortion. Like, I don't get it, especially considering how recent that was. Why did they not lead with extortion? Furthermore, why did they not go after him for those unregistered guns, the serial numbers being scratched off of those guns, the silencers? Why didn't they lead with that type of stuff? Stuff that they could get a conviction on first. I don't get that. No, none of it made sense to me. Like watching the trial, and I think I said this the other day, but I think part of where they went wrong is that they had 8 male jurors. The defense was males and 4 female prosecutors. I think they should have at least one man on the prosecution so that they had someone that thought from an angle of a man. Because if you have 8 men on the prosecution, it needs to be someone that can meet them where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Like, because how we perceive things and the way men perceive things. Yes, Christy, and that's not me being sexist. That's not. I promise you that's not me being sexist. But I feel like that's like, what's the best example? All right. When detectives are doing an undercover detail, what do? Come across like whatever they're targeting. They needed that. They needed another perspective. They needed a male's perspective because I think that they handled his case from more of a emotional standpoint. And when I say that, I mean like they led with the abuse, they led with but that was not what he was being charged with. So it's like, it's kind of making it murky, right? Although I do think they could have had him convicted, right? But them 8 male jurors, and they were all above the age of like 35. They said there was like a couple of them that were like in their late 40s and 50s. You have to think of like what that age group of men, what they deem as consent. It's different. It's very different. Like this generation and that generation of men deem consent very different. And I think that the perception, the age group, one thing I will say is Diddy's attorneys did a good job at picking the jury. They knew. that picking 8 men in that age group was going to become a conflict. They knew that. And the prosecution not having any women on their, any men on their team created more of a, oh, bye, Clarice. Why am I calling you Clarice? Girl, don't judge me. Yes, they did have a jury expert, but I think they were going to pick mainly men anyway if they could, which I think that the jury should be able to, I think it should have been half and half at max, I think. I don't think it should have been able to be 8, especially on prostitution, like the Mann Act. Because I'm not trying to be rude, but half of them old men are out there buying chicks one way or another. So how they view it is not, I feel like it's not the same moral compass as, I think a lot of men don't see anything wrong with what Diddy was doing. And it really just should show, look, even this comment, it shows you where we are as a society. And it shows how much women are not valued. Like, the fact that so many men do not see anything wrong with that, and what Diddy has done, it should really highlight to people the level that men don't respect boundaries, a woman's body, and they don't, they don't, I don't know. I just really think it really highlights what the thought process is. No, and the baddie aesthetic did not help. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Gina, 50 Cent's baby mama, she did not help. The prosecution should have never brought her ass in that courtroom. She harmed that court case. In fact, the fact that she's so low down and dirty that her ass wrote to the courts, he is a changed man. He should be let out. Didn't you just say this man beat your ass and did everything else, and you wrote to the courts asking them to release him? Also, you could get a rent check? She has really tarnished. Even if it was bought or threat, you're going to have to kill me before I ever tell them to release you. Kill me. I would rather you kill me. I would rather, I'm not going to let you buy me. I don't know. It just, because it's one thing if you want to put yourself in danger, but now when you let a monster out like him, you pave a road for him to only be worse. Someone like that is not going to become better. Now they have gotten away with it. People will advocate for their BS. And now I feel more powerful. I feel more emboldened and more empowered to be more of a sleazebag because I can. Because the system is going to let me get away with it. And not only is the system going to let me get away with it, you're going to let me get away with it too. So, Nab, that's the thing. That's where I think there are going to be other charges brought up because all those other lawsuits that are going for minors, somebody out of them hundreds of people are going to be willing to talk, probably have already spoken. And I would venture to say that they have already been in the mix of working with them, but because he asked for a speedy trial, I think it's the only reason why they weren't able to hit him with that first. That's the only reason. Because think about it, from the time they had him arrested to the time he had trial, there was two. Yes, my mods are amazing. They dropped two superseding indictments. So there was three indictments in total. There's something else coming down the pipeline line. And the fact that they are still crossing out names and still don't want, yeah, no. And the only reason why he wanted a bond right now, yeah, it was ridiculous for him to ask for a speedy trial, but I'm going to tell you exactly why. He wanted to rush everything because he felt as if he could get off on all of them, right? Even now, he's trying to rush a bond. He wants a bond so bad. He's pushing for a bond. He's pushing for a bond. He's pushing for a bond because he knows something else is coming down the pipeline and he wants to get his ass out of that jail so that he could head to Bali before another indictment drops. He wants to end up in Bali before something else comes up. Hmm. That's the only reason. That is why he is so, yes, yes. He rushed it to limit the evidence. But I think a lot of it he had, yes. That's where Russell Simmons is. Let me tell you something. If they gave him a bond, by the time the ink dried on that paper, he would be drinking a mango margarita in Bali. Like 1000%. He would have been out of there. Like out of there. When I say he would have been gone, gone. Exact. They do a lot of places like that have. Definitely. He would have definitely went to Cuba and then Bali. That's why he was so pressed to go to his house in Miami. Because Miami and Cuba are so close. Like so close. Like when I say he would have been he was pushing to be in Miami rather than um New York because he knows if he got anywhere close to that ocean, he could get the hell on. Can Diddy swim? I don't know. That's a good. I'm sure he could. Yeah, he could escape by boat, whatever. And when you have that type of money, you don't even really have to clear customs. You could just pay people off. Like them people don't make a lot of money. So if you offer them even $2,000, yeah, come on, sir, get in the country. We'll get you on a flight by tomorrow morning to get out of here. If Diddy got out, we would never see him again. Not in the US. No, no. He, because think about it this way. Okay, if you have sentencing 2 months away from now. Wouldn't you just sit and wait? Because maybe you'll get time served. But you're in such a rush to get out because you know something else is going to happen and you trying to get out before that happens so you can leave. He knows. I'm telling you, he knows what's up. He knows. That man knows. Yeah, he knows. He knows. Oh yeah, the judge know. Listen, the judge the judge is like, Buki, you are not gonna outsmart me, lover. Like, Mr. Loverboy, no. Take that, take that, take that. He's like, nah. Mm. Sir, you're gonna sit here until further notice. And stop sending me all this stuff. I'm tired of reading through all this paperwork. You are not getting a bond. Stop asking me about it. Your ass is staying in here. I kept you in here since last September and you keep asking me to get out and I keep telling you no. Stop asking me. He's like that kid that asks you for something and you tell them no. And when you tell them no, you know for a fact you mean no and you're not going to change your mind. And they keep asking you. Like, as in, it's a hard no. Like, you can ask me again, and I meant the same no that I meant before. I mean that again now, and I'm not changing it. It is a crayon on my forehead. I got it from the world of Crayola. Like, it's a hard no, and that judge is not going to change his mind. In fact, the prosecution said that they were going now for more time than what they were originally requesting. So I feel like I think he might get between 5 to 8 years. Now, will he make it those 5 to 8 years? Oh, my mods are amazing. Um, I don't know. I think he will off himself before, or somebody will. Oh, yeah, you know, Bree and him ain't got nothing to do. I don't know if I think he'll make it 8 years. I don't know. I literally, I've shown you my Adam's apple. Every time we come on here, I show you my Adam's apple. So, see, it's right there. I had it shaved down and stuff. So you just see a little spot right here. Yeah, I don't know if I could see him really. Well, I think but here's the thing. And this is what one of my friends in New York, she's a criminal defense attorney in New York, and she said to me last night, she was like, because they consider him, like, the fact that the reason for not giving him bond is like his violence and tampering with witnesses and stuff like that. She was like, I could see them putting him somewhere with higher security, which it would not be like a cupcake type of prison. Kind of like Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, she wasn't in one of them like Martha Stewart's type of white collar crime prisons. Now they transferred her to something like that. But she wasn't originally in, like, where she's at, sex offenders don't go to generally. So the fact that she's like, I feel like I could see him going somewhere that is not minimum security. And so even if he is in protective custody, it's not going to be the most pleasant prison because he keeps complaining about where he's at. I really don't know if I think that where he'll be at will be much better. Lowly. The fact that where Ghislaine Maxwell is at is where they do yoga and stuff. What is this world coming to? But what I think is also crazy is the fact that allegedly the only reason why she was doing all of what she was doing is because she was in love with Epstein. Like she wanted Epstein to marry her. You wanted Epstein to marry you? No, I know Brooklyn is I mean, they have the worst of the worst there too. So, I mean, the fact that she wanted Epstein to marry her, just think about how messed up as a person she is. Like, I know that you like to traffic kids and do stuff to kids, but um can I be your wifey? As long as we don't have kids together. Or maybe we could. Like, really let that sink in. You wanted that man to marry you? He don't like grown women. Don't you see he like kids? I heard that they say she was worse than Epstein. So the fact that they would possibly let her out. Do y'all think she will get a pardon? Yes or no? I think she will eventually, just on the strength of whatever she has on him, on Trump. I think he moved her to a nicer prison because, hey, look, I know you in a bad spot right here, okay? Like, I can't let you go right now because there's a lot going on right now, right? So if I let you go right now, we gonna have some problems, okay? And because of the political state of everything being in, I I can't let you out right now. But what I can do is put you somewhere a little more comfortable. Give me some time and then I'll work it out and get you out. So I'll just move you here for right now. We're gonna make it seem like I'm not gonna give you a pardon. And you don't say my name. And when I'm getting ready to leave office, I'll pardon you. So give me about just 3 years and a couple of months. I feel like that was a negotiation because why did they send her to a prison that they don't send pedos to? No, they just shifted. They're like it's a game. Exactly, exactly, Christy. That's exactly what I'm thinking. First of all, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Diddy could even afford to pay Trump to get a pardon because during his trial, he was less he was worth about 400 million. He was originally worth before he was arrested over $1 billion for your net worth to tank like that, and we're talking about that's your net worth. That's not cash. That's net worth, right? That means with your properties, um, your stocks, like whatever deals you have. I and think about all these lawsuits he has on the table. I just don't feel like he could afford it. I know people think that he could, but like when you really like look at the logistics of it, and even think about it this way, what he was willing to put up for bond, right, was his Miami mansion, which allegedly is worth 50 million, right? That man can't put up cash, he's putting up a property. I don't think he has liquid, like actual liquid cash like that. I don't. I don't. I think people think he does, but I don't think he has liquid cash like that. No, I think people see him as a celebrity and they feel like he probably has it. But I, especially with how much he's paid these attorneys, and these attorney fees aren't over because remember, he has all these lawsuits. They have to constantly defend him. This is not over. This is very far from over. And I don't think he could afford it. The fact that you even mocking Jesus like that with that type of name is like you are on Jesus's express to hell list, okay? I want you to be very well aware of that. Like express to hell list. That is nuts. They coming in hot and it's so funny to me because I'm like, wow, I would never waste my time on me because I don't care. Yeah, like it's crazy. Oh, the mods are good. I'm telling you, if they are good. But I don't feel like I feel like at this point it's I think he knows. But I do think he thought he had a possibility of getting out because of um the Mann Act and it not being deemed violent. But trafficking is trafficking. But what I don't understand is how did they get him on the Mann Act but not on actual prostitution? Yo, did y'all see? Okay, I don't know how many of y'all are on TikTok, but baby, let me take you down a rabbit hole. I saw this yesterday night. There's a lady that was seeing a psychiatrist and said that the psychiatrist made her fall in love with him. Okay? Because he would do things that a lover would do. Like, oh, bye, Aleph. Thank you. Um, he would do things like listen to her. You mean to tell me a psychiatrist is not supposed to listen to what you say because how else are they diagnosing you? And she said that she realized that he was manipulative and narcissistic, and she left him, as in stopped going to see him. She was only seeing him once a month for 30 minutes. You left him? Honey, the insurance stopped paying him. This is a I do my job, I get paid. You didn't leave me. You just stopped being a client. And she says that the reason why she was wearing her little turtle glasses is because he said that he loved the turtle glasses that she had on. And so if she would wear it, he'd recognize her. Baby, ain't enough med. The fact that she thinks the fact that he was listening to her and engaged in what she said, that was him being manipulative, is just wild. Like, what? Y'all, that was the craziest thing I had ever heard. Yes, literally all I could do was shake my head. I was like, wow, like, just when you think it doesn't get any crazier, here comes somebody else hopping on the internet. And I don't understand why nobody met you with a straitjacket. The FBI, another psychiatrist, all of that needs to be at your door right now, like expeditiously. It just don't make no damn sense. None. But all right, y'all, I'm going to get off here. What do I have to do? I have some stuff to do. And I will, y'all, I need to post my stuff up here from yesterday. I just posted the thing that I uploaded yesterday or 2 days ago. I finally posted it last night. Y'all, don't get at me. Don't get at me. You just look up the put in the subject or the search bar, lady that fell in love with her psychiatrist. You got to watch it. Like, fall down that rabbit hole, and I am telling you, you are going to need a straitjacket by noon tomorrow. But bye, y'all. Thank you guys for joining.